Welcome to CinemaTopiaGaming's Action Pack, where I look at the many of the popular and obscure action films from the last few decades. We have made it to the 1980s, and where action movies have become more common. The first film to start it off was Steven Spielberg and George Lucas's masterpiece, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Harrison Ford plays the lead protagonist, Indiana Jones, a part-time college professor who goes on expeditions for rare artifacts. This is probably Ford's most famous role, alongside Han Solo from the Star Wars trilogy. He is just so charismatic that you can't help but think, man, I want to be like him. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing this role but him. Everyone knows the plot, even those who haven't seen it, but I'll mention it anyway. Indiana Jones teams up with his ex-girlfriend Marion, played by Karen Allen, in search of the Ark of the Covenant. Also looking for the Ark is his rival Belloc, played by Paul Freeman, and a bunch of Nazis helping him out. The race for the Ark begins, leading to a lot of action-packed moments. This movie is inspired by a lot of the adventure serials from the 1930s to the 1940s, as well as the James Bond franchise, the latter which the opening sequence having to do with the plot, but establishes our main character. The story is nothing new, but it takes cliches from the adventure serials and surprisingly makes them feel fresh and new. Heck, the poster for the movie has a tagline that reads, "The Return of the Great Adventure." So, what are other things that makes this movie amazing? For starters, it has a nice sense of humor to balance some of the dark stuff out and memorial cast of characters. Marion seems to like your typical damsel in distress, but there's a lot more to her character. For example, when she's taken prisoner by Belloc, she tries to get him drunk before attempting to escape, so she was definitely close to actually saving herself. Plus, the chemistry between her and Indy is just spot on. Villains are great, too. Belloc is more sophisticated, but a worthy adversary to Indy. And then there's that guy with the glasses whose name I can't remember. You know, the one whose hand gets burnt, but the medallion, he had his face melted off by the end. I can't remember his name, but it's an overall presence that makes him memorable. Next is the action and suspense. There are countless things to remember about this movie, like the often parodied to death boulder chase, the snake pit sequence, all those awesome chase scenes with some amazing stunt work, right up there with the James Bond franchise. Remember when I said the movie has a sense of humor? There's that one scene where it looks like Indy was about to fight that swordsman, but shoots him instead. That was well timed right there. And I can't do a review on this movie without mentioning the score by John Williams. It's right up there as one of his best. I just can't get the Raiders March out of my head. These are all that makes the film so great. If you haven't seen the movie, which I doubt, it's definitely worth checking out. It's an adventure you will never forget.